All right, let's talk about what's really scary. We're not talking about monsters or ghosts. The kind of horror we're diving into today, well, it lurks in the most mundane places you can imagine, like dusty file cabinets and official reports. It's a fear born from two simple, absolutely chilling words. This line just nails it. We're all wired to look for the creature in the dark, right? We're waiting for that jump scare. But what we're looking at today suggests we're completely missing the point. The real chill, it comes from something way more subtle. Just picture it for a second. You have a whole team of dedicated pros, detectives, scientists, you name it. They've done everything right. They've collected the evidence, interviewed everyone, run every possible test. And after all that hard work, they're left with absolutely nothing. Just a shrug. So they close the folder, stick it in a drawer, and everyone just agrees to move on. And there they are, those two words. That is the real horror we're exploring. It's not the mystery itself, but the silence that comes after. It's the complete, official surrender to the unknown. So today, we're going to look at 3 true stories where the investigation just stops. Okay, first up, a classic. A story of isolation and disappearance from over 100 years ago that to this day has no solid answer. We're heading to the Flannan Isles. So try to imagine this scene. It's a remote, windswept rock off the coast of Scotland. The lighthouse is supposed to be this beacon of safety, right? But it's dark. A relief boat shows up on Boxing Day for what should be a totally routine supply drop. Instead, they get nothing. Just this deeply unsettling quiet. No one comes out to greet them. And what they found inside is even weirder. There were no signs of a struggle, no violence. It was more like a moment frozen in time. A meal left half-eaten. A chair knocked over, like someone just stood up really suddenly. A stopped clock. And the 3 keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur, were just gone. You'd think the logbook would have some answers, but honestly, it just makes things stranger. Check out this timeline. It shows this weird descent into fear and anxiety, all because of something that, according to every official record, didn't even happen. This is the first strange entry from Thomas Marshall, an old sea dog with 20 years of experience. He's writing about this unbelievably brutal storm. The problem? Every weather station on the mainland said the seas were calm. There was no storm. So what on earth was he seeing? And then you have the human element, which is just heartbreaking. These guys weren't rookies. Ducat was a tough, seasoned sailor, and the logbook says he was crying. Another keeper, a guy known for being a bruiser, was praying. Something out there terrified these grown, experienced men, and it was way more than just bad weather. And this is the last thing ever written. Storm ended, sea calm. God is over all. It feels so final, doesn't it? So resigned. It's not an explanation, it's practically an epitaph. After that entry on December 15th, nothing. Just silence. And no bodies were ever found. All right, let's jump way forward in time. We're going from a historical mystery to a modern scientific puzzle. From the coast of Scotland to a tiny town in Washington state, where the horror didn't disappear, it literally fell out of the sky. So back in August of 1994, it started raining in Oakville, Washington. Except it wasn't water. It was this bizarre, translucent, jelly-like goo. And get this, it didn't happen just once. It happened 6 different times over 3 weeks. Can you even imagine looking up and seeing that stuff coming down? And the stuff was not harmless. Anyone who touched the blobs got sick. And the symptoms were eerily consistent. Severe fatigue, dizziness, trouble breathing. It was a real, tangible, biological threat. One family's cat actually died after coming into contact with it. Now, this is where the story goes from weird to just, what? They sent samples to the state health lab, and the first results were just shocking. The blobs contained living human white blood cells and bacteria that you usually find inside the human gut. I mean, how do you even begin to explain that? So you're thinking, okay, this has to be a top priority, a massive investigation, right? Well, here's the final twist. Before they could finish a complete analysis, the samples disappeared from the lab. Just vanished. Poof, gone. The trail went dead. And the world just sort of forgot about it. Okay, Our last case is maybe the most famous and baffling of them all. It's a spy thriller level story about a dead man with no name, a secret message, and a code that has stumped the best minds on the planet for over 70 years. So, a man is found dead on a beach in Australia. He's dressed nicely, but there's no wallets, no ID of any kind. And even stranger, every single tag and label had been carefully cut out of his clothes. This person was intentionally erased. The autopsy couldn't find a cause of death. No poison, no injuries. He was a perfectly healthy man who was just done. Weeks later, investigators find a tiny, hidden pocket sewn into the man's pants. Inside is a little scrap of paper with 2 words printed on it, Tamam shud. It's a Persian phrase that means it is ended or it is finished, and it was torn from a rare book of poetry. So the police launched this huge search and actually find the exact book that the scrap was torn from. And inside, penciled into the back, they found this, 5 lines of what looks like some kind of code. They handed it over to top military code breakers, the same people who cracked enemy ciphers in the war. None of them could solve it. To this day, nobody has. Their one real lead was a phone number also found in the book. It led them to a local woman. When the police showed her a plaster cast of the dead man's face, she supposedly went white as a sheet. She clearly knew him, but when they questioned her, she denied everything. She claimed she had no idea who he was, and she stuck to that story until the day she died, taking the answer with her to the grave. So what have we got? A vanished lighthouse crew, a bizarre biological rain, and an uncrackable code tied to an unknown man. 3 totally separate mysteries from different times, different places. But they all share one critical, chilling thing in common. Let's wrap this up. We've just walked through 3 incredible cases. Each one was properly investigated by professionals. They had evidence, they had witnesses, they had all the official procedures. And after all that time, all that effort, this is what we're left with, a big, fat 0. Not a single confirmed explanation, no solution, no neatly wrapped up ending, just a dusty file stamped cause unknown. The trail doesn't just go cold, it completely ceases to exist. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? The horror isn't some ghost or some alien goo. The true, lasting horror is the silence. It's the official acceptance that some questions will just never, ever have answers. That some stories simply don't have an ending, and we're all just supposed to be okay with that. The only question left is, are you?